remote location, ready to do a show. We have a lot of callers on the line, and we definitely have a lot of interesting questions. Anything I say is not meant to diagnose you or replace your medical care. Check with your healthcare practitioner before taking any of my advice. Okay? That being said, we're going to talk to Jenny right off the bat. Jenny, you had a question about, I think, autoimmune diseases? Go ahead.
That's right, and pregnancy. Yes. Can you hear me okay?
Hello, Jennifer? Jennifer, can you
Are
hear
you
me?
there?
Oh, now I can
Yes,
hear you.
I can
I'm
hear
here.
you. Okay.
Okay, great.
Yes, I have a question about autoimmune conditions and pregnancy together. So can I go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I have hyperthyroidism. I have antiphospholipid antibody syndrome, as well as infertility. My doctor has prescribed, when we do get pregnant, 20 milligrams of prednisone for half the pregnancy up till 20 weeks, along with Lovenox and baby aspirin. So I was a little bit concerned about taking the prednisone because of the side effects. So I started looking to see if there was any natural alternatives. And I came across your video about taking vitamin D3 at 30,000 IUs and K2 at 300 mcgs to take the place of prednisone. So my question to you is, can I take the D3 and K2 in the place of prednisone during my pregnancy? And will it do the same as the prednisone?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna phrase this very specifically because I definitely can't give you medical advice, but here's just some things to think about and research. Number one, vitamin D definitely acts like a hormone, a steroid in the body, and it can mimic a lot of the effects of cortisone. It's anti-inflammatory. I mean, it's great for the immune system. It's an immune suppressor, so it can handle a cytokine storm or a huge inflammatory condition, and many, many other things. So that's why vitamin D can actually act to help you in that area. Of course, you take with the K2. The other thing that you could take just to help in the situation is to get a high quality grass-fed adrenal gland extract. It doesn't have the hormones, but it supports the adrenal gland, and it can actually kind of help in that area as well. So it's a whole desiccated adrenal glandular. And you can just research to see who would be the best source on that. You want it grass-fed. But those would be two things that I would look at. But yeah, I see your concern, because when you take a steroid, prednisone, when you're trying to become fertile, that doesn't make sense to me. That's and I know what you're trying to do. They're trying to affect this immune system situation. But what's interesting, though, when you actually do become pregnant, a lot of antibodies that are involved in autoimmune conditions disappear, which is fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's going to be your case, but that would be my advice. So, yeah.
So the question is during the pregnancy, taking the vitamin D3 and K2 during the pregnancy rather than before trying to get pregnant.
Right.
So yeah, that's my concern, because of the side effects that could affect the baby. That's my concern. So
yeah, I think
you're saying yes, it would be okay.
I think yeah. There's no problem with taking like 20,000 IUs of vitamin D3 when you're pregnant, because you also so many women are deficient in vitamin D3, and they're going to need a little bit more. And it's very important in development of your baby. But the toxic effects of vitamin D occur when you're taking hundreds of thousands of international units of vitamin D3 over many, many months. And the real only side effect is hypercalcemia, and which can lead to like kidney stones. But again, that is, you have to take massive amounts over a long period of time. And you can always get your vitamin D checked to make sure that you're within the normal range. And yeah, that would be my recommendation.
Okay, so it would do the same thing as the prednisone, is what I hear you saying, as well as I should take, what should be the dosage, and can I take it for the first 20 weeks of my pregnancy?
Yeah, I could answer the cortisone treatment, because I can't give you advice on medication because that's beyond my
Okay,
scope. But I would
right.
definitely kind of just, you know, when you evaluate something, I think it's important to have all the information. So I'm giving you additional information. This is why people get
Yeah.
a second, third, fourth, fifth opinion, um, versus, you know, sometimes you're not going to always have the best choice if you have this one viewpoint, you know. So, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so
Okay,
much,
well, I
Jen.
thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Cindy is from Columbus. Hi, Cindy. Cindy, you have I think, an underdiagnosed swelling underneath your right rib. Is that true?
Yes. Uh-huh, that's right. I've been a long-time listener and lost 23 pounds on your healthy keto program. I've done things like liver cleansing, and it's been a year and 3 months that I've been on this program. But that swelling under my right rib will not go away. I've used your tool, and negligible improvement. It just is this swelling. I've had scans. I had a colonoscopy. They did all kinds of checks to see what it is. They can't figure it out.
Now, is it feel like it's just bulging, or is there like a thickness, or is there like a pain, or is there like um, bloating type thing?
It's more like a bloating. It's uncomfortable. There's not pain, but it's uncomfortable. And it does get bigger throughout the day. Every day
Yeah,
it swells up.
I think what's happening is the bile ducts sometimes they become thickened with bile, and
Mm.
sometimes its sluggishness backs up in that area. So a really good product to go out and get, and I don't have any
Uh-huh.
brand names, but it's called Tudcut. T-U-D. Let me just write this down because it's Tudca, Tudca, and
Oh, okay.
take two in the morning on empty stomach, and then two in the afternoon on empty stomach, and that will help drain those pipes, so you'll get less swollen area in that or congestion in that area.
Wow, that's incredible. That's super helpful. Thank you so
Hey,
much.
you're welcome. Thanks for calling.
Have a good
You too. Okay, Lyra. I think it's Lee Ray. Lee Ray from Santa Fe.
Lyra?
I like that. Oh, Lyra?
No, it's Lyra.
Lyra. Okay, great.
Yes. Hi. I've been
Hi.
doing my fasting and you know, I'm 76 years old and I've been fasting for a long time and doing your stuff. My question is that I decided to go up to I was at 18 hours and wasn't having too much problems with the fast. But I've noticed when I go to 18 or 19 hours, which helps me lose weight faster, that I do tend to sometimes get a low blood sugar, and I can feel that low blood sugar coming. And so, you know, I try to eat a piece of cheese, or I try to eat, a little bit of protein, and it makes it in a half an hour I'm worse because I feel like that protein is giving me an insulin spike. So I'm not sure what to eat to stop the low blood sugar from continuing, so I don't have to eat a donut, because that's stupid, because then I've just negated everything that I've done. So any suggestions on how to do what to
Yeah.
eat when this starts?
Sure. Yeah. Um, when you start feeling low blood sugars, can you tell me, is it just feeling kind of a hunger sensation, or do you feel irritable, or do you feel fatigued?
Well, I kind of feel like it's not any of those. It's kind of like I'm having it now, as a matter of fact. And I've been fasting and I'm having my coffee. It's kind of feel like I have, like, sinus congestion, where I'm kind of ill but not really ill, and kind of nauseated but not really nauseated. But it has my attention. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. There's two things I want to differentiate. One is
Hmm.
when you're fasting and you get these different symptoms that turn on, where you have like you have hunger pain, you feel your stomach growls, you have all that. a real true low blood sugar situation, you're going to feel weak, highly irritable. You'll feel dizzy, those type of symptoms. So if you're not feeling that, then your body is just going through some type of an adjustment where it hasn't really fully adapted. So a couple things to do. One
Mm-hmm.
is to consume some sea salt and some water. Um,
Okay, I'm
that
just making
w-
sea salt. Okay.
sea salt and some water,
Okay.
and just notice if that picks you up, then we know you just need some sodium, and a
Right.
lack of sodium will cause keto flu, like you have like kind of
Right.
like you're going. It'll also create weakness in the muscle,
How much salt do
and
I do?
probably just do an eighth of a teaspoon, just a little bit, in some water, dissolve it. Um,
Okay.
and then you should perk right up. Now, the other thing is that a couple other things you can do that I wouldn't do right off the bat. I would do it a little bit later. I would do, you can take some MCT oil throughout the day.
Yeah.
That actually
Yeah.
will
Empty.
sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
so that will kind of give you, so instead of protein, which will spike insulin, you eat fat. There's even, you can get grass-fed tallow pills. It's like beef fat in a pill. You can get that. And that actually works really good too, because when you actually have fat like that, you don't stimulate insulin at all. So it allows you to go longer with the fasting. But I think there will be a point that you will transition and you won't have these symptoms. But the real key is keeping your carbs really, really low. That will just make things a little bit better. And so try those things, okay, and see what happens.
Well, good morning, Doc, and good morning,
Good
world.
morning.
Here is from HQ. We're coming to you, and let's first say a good morning to the world. So we've got viewers from the UK, Canada, Costa Rica, Morocco, Israel, Malta, Mexico, Pakistan, the Netherlands, Egypt, Hong Kong, India, Germany, Belize, Cabo San Lucas, beautiful place, Italy, France, Sweden, Cameroon, Algeria, Trinidad, Tobago, Lebanon, Australia, Liberia, and Belgium, the Philippines, and also a shout out to my cousin, Mary Page from Raleigh, North Carolina, who is living the keto lifestyle and seeing all sorts of great results from that. So, hey, Mary Page, welcome to you. And then all across the UK and so on. And I tell you what, Doc, why don't we kick it off with our first wonderful quiz question this morning? And
Okay.
it asks, what is the leading cause of a fatty liver? So that's what we're putting out to him, Doc. And I hope they can answer that. And while I'm on a roll, should I start off with a little social media? On Facebook,
Yes.
Phil wants to know the best fat, butter or coconut oil. What would you recommend to Phil?
I think butter would be much better. Things, you know, things taste better with butter, but coconut oil is okay. It doesn't have as many nutrients, but it's a fat. It has lauric acid, which is good. It actually will help you generate ketones and energy. But butter actually has vitamin K2. Sometimes it has a little bit of vitamin D. Sometimes it also has butyric acid, and it has other things that are beneficial. Um, and it's an animal fat versus a plant fat. So that's a little difference there too. So if there's any gut issues, you'll do a little bit better on the animal fats. The more gut issues you have, the better you're going to do with animal products versus plant products.
Wow, that's interesting. That which reminds me, Betty bought a bit of bitter butter. But she, if I put it in my batter, it'll make my batter bitter. So she bought a bit of butter, better than the bitter butter, and she put it in her batter, and it made her batter better.
Did you just memorize that? That's amazing. You remembered that.
I know. I used to tease my classmates as a little kid, and none of them were impressed. And I was hoping our audience might be.
We'll have to find out once we get a response back. You'll find out.
Very good. How
All
about a
right.
phone call, Doc?
Yeah, let's take a phone call from. Let's go to Dave from Baltimore. Hey, Dave.
Hello.
Let's see your
Go
question.
ahead.
What
Go
was
ahead, Dave.
Yes, sir. I've been on keto for about a year now, and my question is about dizziness and lightheadedness, which I started having these symptoms before keto, but I tried it to maybe alleviate them, but it didn't work. I've tried pretty much everything. I've had all these tests done. Nobody can find anything wrong. I've tried electrolyte powder, sea salt, and different remedies, but I can't seem to figure out why.
Have you ever heard of a condition called POTS?
Yes,
Did you ever get tested for that?
I did, because my niece apparently has POTS. So then I went and had tested, and they said I didn't have it. It's usually when I stand up quick, or
Yeah.
if I turn my neck quick or something like that, I'll get dizzy, like a quick spell of it, and then it goes away.
Okay. So, like, you did the right thing, like you take the electrolytes, maybe more sea salt, but the other thing, and I'm not sure if you took this, and sometimes you have to take more of it. It's vitamin B1, which handles the sympathetic adaptation to gravity when you stand up. It's like it affects the nervous system. So B1 is a really key nutrient, and I would probably take something called benfotiamine. Have you tried that yet? Because that may be what you've been missing, because that's one of the
Yep.
best remedies for. You have that? You've tried that?
Yes, sir. I take your the keto energy. I take 2 or 3 of those a day.
Okay. Has that helped you at all?
No.
Okay. What about your sleep? Is there any issue with sleep?
Not really. I usually get like 7 or 8 hours a night, and I might wake up like one time a night, and then I fall right back asleep.
Okay. Do you have any problems climbing upstairs, and you get your legs get heavy, or you get out of breath easily?
Yes. I climb a lot of ladders at work, and if I climb, I get to the top, and I'm like, I take a deep breath, and then then it goes back to normal.
Okay. So I think what I'm thinking from what you're talking, there's could be some adrenal issues that you need to kind of focus on a little bit more
Okay.
on the adrenal, support that with more adrenal help, maybe even a whole desiccated adrenal. If you find a glandular, a good high quality adrenal glandular, that can help you immensely. And then the other thing that I'm thinking about is a good tocotrienols, like a vitamin E tocotrienol, because that also helps the heart work a lot stronger, gives more oxygen to the heart, and it'll just make you more efficient at your ability to go from a lying down to a standing up position. Those are 2 things I would definitely try, but let me know if that works, okay?
Okay, one last thing with the sea salt. How much, like, I guess, added sea salt would you recommend to food? Because I don't know if I'm using enough. Maybe.
Yeah, that's a common problem if you're on keto. I think you should, if you're doing this is what I do. I take my electrolyte powder and I add salt to it. Like I put like sometimes 1/3 of a teaspoon. I'll do that in the morning, and then I'll do that in the afternoon as well, not before bed, because you might be peeing all night long. But the sea salt is really important. It's hard to get in the food, so you might want to take like even 1/4 of a teaspoon a couple times a day, and dissolve it, and then slug it down. But I like to hide it in the electrolyte flavor, so I don't really even taste it at all. So, but yeah, try that, because I'm telling you, if you're not getting enough salt, that alone can make you dizzy when you stand up, because you don't have the volume of blood in your body, so everything's kind of lower amounts. All right.
Okay,
and
Doc, guess what? We've got
What?
some answers to our questions. And by the way, I hope I'm saying her name well. Silfador is heartbroken, and she's from Spain, because we didn't mention Spain this morning. So there you go to Silfador and all her friends in the beautiful country of Spain. Good morning to you. And in terms of our first quiz question, it asked, what is the leading cause of fatty liver? And our audience suggests 70% sugar and carbs, 20% processed food, and 10% old evil alcohol. Sometimes a glass of wine just fine, but in excess, watch out.
You know what's interesting, because the answer is soft drinks. I'm sorry, which is soda.
What?
Soft drinks. more than alcohol.
Isn't that? It's awful.
So, and I'm going to I'm going to release a new video on this, which is what it actually does to your liver. And I just, you look around, you see people are still drinking soft drinks. I'm like, I guess they haven't seen my videos or other videos, but I'm like, soft drinks, like it's like pure. Let's drink pure sugar. Not only that, Steve, but in soft drinks, you also have the caramel color. That caramel color gives you what's called advanced glycated end products, which actually contributes to insulin resistance, contributes to plaquing in the brain and sticky blood and all sorts of other issues. You wouldn't think that's an issue, but it is. And if you consume soda without flavoring, it would just be disgusting. It's like sugar water. So, people they like that sensation, but when you're consuming that without the wonderful flavor and carbonation and the coloring and the texture, without the nutrients, it's a dangerous combination because you'll always drink more than you should, and then you'll end up in trouble.
Awful.
So,
yeah. Well, I tell you what, why don't we kick off with the next question, and I want to make sure I've got this right. Do vitamins D2 and D3 essentially create the same thing? That wasn't supposed to be K something. Do I have that right, Doc?
No. Okay, so this is the question, guys. Vitamin D2 and D3 are virtually, they create the same effect. True or false?
All right, that's great. And by the way, so many people from social media, let's catch up. Danny wants to know the best way to shrink a small mass on his adrenals. He's got a small mass on his adrenal. Didn't suggest whether, I don't know if you can have a malignant mass. I hope you can't on an adrenal, but that was his question from YouTube.
There's two things that shrinks tumors. The most powerful thing is an epigenetic, which means above genetic action, which is fasting. Now, you would think if you stop eating, it would be against your survival, but your body has, way back in time, evolved to the point where it's gone through a lot of starvation periods. And so to survive, your body has all these amazing genetic programs that when you stop eating, they kick in and they start protecting you. They start making your body resistant to disease and anything that could be, killing you, like even tumors or cancer. So these tumor genes shut off when you do fasting and you start shrinking things. So fasting, especially when you do periodic prolonged fasting, I mean, if you can do this, if you really wanted to do probably something really good for your body, you would want to do like maybe twice a month, do a long fast for like 3 or 4 days. And then maybe twice a year do like a week-long fast. I'm telling you, it might be hard to do that, but you'd be protecting yourself in a big way. The other thing that I think is going to be really important for you is to, while you're or not when you're fasting, but when you increase your plant, your greens, like your salads and especially cruciferous. I like, you can do the cruciferous, the kale, the broccoli and stuff like that, but there's the type of cruciferous that's been my favorite recently is the arugula. And arugula has, it's kind of like a flavorful, like a spicy, bitter, kind of a mustard family type thing. And it has some really powerful anti-cancer effects. So that's my salad base lately, and I'll put some olive oil on there. You don't need to put too much on it because it's pretty flavorful. It's been known as an aphrodisiac in the Roman times. It actually, it doesn't have large amounts of oxalates, so it won't affect your kidney stones like spinach would. But it has some other cool properties with anti-cancer and lots of antioxidants. So, Steve, I want to show you something. I don't know if you can see this representation of an artery. This is your artery, and this is the inside of the artery.
Let's go back to your picture.
And then here is a, if you can see this right here. See this right here?
And don't let Dr.
is
Berg
steel,
perform
a cleaner.
cardiac surgery. Oh.
It's a steel toothbrush, and this is what it's like to eat sugar. What it does to your arteries, it's actually kind of sanding away or bristling away your inside of the surface of that artery, and then as a fireman, cholesterol comes in there and starts healing it, and then calcium comes in there. But when you eat sugar, think of that picture, Steve.
Absolutely awful. Hey, Terry, hold the donut, would you, buddy? Thanks. Now, listen, we've got our audience is right on it, Doc, and they have come up with some answers. And
Okay.
the question was, does D2 and D3 sort of have the same effect? 75% say that's false. 25% say that it's true. Do we have any winners today?
Yeah, we have the majority as a winner. It's actually false. They're not. They don't create the same effect. The like vitamin D3 is much stronger. It's like 5 times stronger. It lasts longer in the arteries. With D3, you have to take a lot more. And also D2. Did I say D3? D2, you need to take a lot more. It's a synthetic version. And the other big thing is that the studies involving taking vitamin D and living longer, the mortality studies, that's only with D3, not D2. So apparently you don't get the extended life mortality benefits when you take D2. So when anyone says that, oh yeah, they're the same, doesn't matter, they just don't know what they're talking about.
All right. Well, listen, why don't we go back to Facebook and is that Muba Shear? Muba Shear. Can I reverse diabetes with keto?
Well, why don't you do it and try to find out and see if it works for you? How about that? You want to do a combination of healthy keto, intermittent fasting, and think about what diabetes is. It's a situation where you have high sugar, okay, in the blood. So why would you want to do anything but a low sugar, low carb diet? Makes sense to me. And then what happens? Your blood sugars tend to do better, and then the need for medication is less, and then you need to make adjustments, because if your blood sugars start coming down to normal and you still are taking the same medication, the same dosage, then you're going to end up with low blood sugar, right? So you want to get with your doctor so you don't end up with a low blood sugar. You want normal blood sugar. And so the goal, from my viewpoint, is to have the least amount of medication with the normalization of your blood sugars.
Wonderful. So it's back to the phone with Beata from Westfield, New Jersey.
All right.
Hello.
Beata, hi.
Hi, how are you, Dr. Berg?
Great.
So I've been watching your videos for about half a year now, and I'm very impressed, and I love healthy keto, and I'm doing it also myself. The one side effect that I recently have is a rash on my stomach, and since summer is approaching, I want to clear this fast, so I need your help with that.
Well, if it happened when you started keto, then you need vitamin B2. You need more B vitamins, because that could be a deficiency of the B vitamins. The other thing that I think that I would do is make sure you're not taking anything that you could be potentially allergic to, especially these keto treats. And then the last thing is to do longer fasting, because that always improves any type of weird skin issues.
I don't eat any treats, so that's
Okay.
definitely not a problem. And my fasting is not very long. I'm doing the 16/8.
Okay.
So that's all I can do it right now. I eat basically 2 meals a day, very low carb. I have a glass of wine once in a while. So
How
would
often?
that be a problem?
How often?
Well, like 2-3 times a week.
Okay. Is it more 3 times a week or 2 times a week?
Is it more 3 times a week?
Okay. Thank you. And is it a half a glass or is it a whole glass?
A half a glass.
Okay. And I want you to try and experiment, because I want you to experience the benefits of like a real standard keto plan. And I want you to do for 2 weeks, okay? Just put the wine back on the shelf, don't touch it, and then reevaluate your skin and your other results, and then decide if you want to do it that frequently, because at 3 times a week, it's going to be really, really hard to be even in keto at all. Because every
Okay.
time you consume even a half a glass of wine, you're not going to burn, you're not going to be in ketosis or burn fat for about 48 hours.
Okay.
So that could be the problem.
Okay.
Okay?
Another
Awesome.
question. I'm interested in your keto course, and
Yeah.
I'm interested how long this will take to complete the course, and how much it is, or how you do that.
Yeah, the keto course is a keto consulting course. I think we discounted it. It's something like $690 or something like that. It might be roughly around there. And it teaches you everything you need to know to be a coach and a keto and intermittent fasting coach. And there's a whole bunch of lessons that you're going to learn. And if you actually can put some time into it, like each night, you can be done in a relatively short, maybe 1 to 2 weeks. But some people take their time and they do it longer. But we have well over 1,000 coaches now, and it's really cool because you'll have the ability to help a lot of people, and not just a lot of people, but yourself as well. So, yeah, you should check it out.
Okay, thank you so
All right,
much.
good. Now let's go to Sharkita from
Shakita.
Atlanta.
Hello,
Hi,
Dr.
can you
Berg.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How are you?
Okay, great, thanks.
I'm sorry. I'm just so glad to finally talk to you. I've been reaching out on all my social media platforms. Um, I'm sorry. I'm watching the screen too. First of all, I want to say thank you. I've been following your program, well, not recently, but when I first started your program, I ended up losing 135 pounds. At my
Wow.
heaviest, I was almost 500 pounds. But my question is about bile duct carcinoma. I'm here with my mom. She's having her first round of chemo. She was just diagnosed a couple weeks ago, and now they saying it's stage 4. And I'm really just trying to see what can I do to help her, because
Yeah.
they got to check as palliative. So, and I looked it up.
Okay. Okay. So I think that the best thing to do was is to really focus on the foundation, which is the foods for her, and the best foods, believe it or not, for the bile ducts and the liver are bitter vegetables, and she can steam them too, like bitter greens, the arugula, the kale. All that is really, really beneficial to that area of the body. Beet greens, actual beets are really, really good. Sauerkraut is very, very good, and definitely keep the sugars low, very low. I would
Okay.
also put her on that product that you could probably do a research on and get it. I don't know where you can find it, but it's called Tudca, Tudca. It's a
Oh,
type of bile salt that will help to kind of keep the flow of bile from her liver into the gallbladder and into the small intestine. So um, it will probably give her relief while she's going through this, and also after she's done with this.
thank you, Dr. Berg.
Okay.
Anything else?
I think
Because I
you
have
want to
her listening.
you want to get her on the basic keto, healthy keto eating plan as well as the intermittent fasting, because that is going to also reduce the side effects from chemo or radiation. So that will improve the results as well as the side effects. So that's something to think about as well. So I would jump on that for sure.
Okay, Dr. Berg, how about our next question? Which
Yes.
is more addictive, smoking or processed food? Now, I quit smoking 30 years ago, but I've still been known to dabble in a little processed food. So from my standpoint, it can be pretty tough.
Okay, well, Steve, let's see what everyone has to say on that one, okay?
All right, good luck, audience.
Okay, do you have any social media questions for me?
Yes, I sure do. Let's see. So why don't we go back to Lynn? What can I put in my coffee and not break my fast? So she wants to doll up her coffee somehow. I don't know, whiskey?
No, you could put, if you put just a little bit of heavy cream, organic, I mean, it's such a small amount of fat, it's not going to do much. I mean, you could do the powdered MCT oil or just MCT oil and put that in your coffee. If you wanted to sweeten it, I think I have just a little bit of xylitol. I just have a little bit, but it's not 0 on the glycemic index. It's like 30. It's low, and the amounts I take it's insignificant. But if you really want to be hardcore, you could take a little erythritol or monk fruit and put that in the coffee. But of course, the sweetener that tastes just like sugar, it's like xylitol, and also the other one is called
Monk fruit?
no. There's another one that tastes very similar to sugar, and it actually is a sugar. It's allulose. Allulose. That's another one that is pretty good, but if you do a lot of it, it can create some digestive issues. But overall, I like allulose and xylitol the best. But the other ones are also good too. I mean, because they're 0 on the glycemic index, especially if you're doing like drinks and maybe some keto desserts. You take a combination of erythritol and stevia or erythritol and monk fruit.
Okay, wonderful. And then over to YouTube, Michael is really having a great time, I'd say, on keto. His hunger has gone down so much he doesn't feel like eating. So he's one meal OMAD and wants to know if that's okay, if there's going to be any detrimental effects to him losing his appetite and eating one meal a day.
No, just want to make sure you get your nutrients. So the type of food you eat should be nutrient dense. Take your supplements, because as you go less frequent meals, you also have less nutrition. So we keep the nutrition high, and then you're good. You're very good. I've talked extensively about that. And Steve, we are very close, and I keep tweaking this new booklet that I want to give everyone based on the survey that I did on everyone. And I found exactly what people need help on. So we're just about ready to release that. But of course, I found one more thing I had to add, which is going to take this weekend to create these meals, to take pictures so we can put them in the book. So then next week for sure we'll release this, and I want everyone to have a copy of it and apply it and then spread it broadly, because it's designed to make keto easier. It's designed to get more people consistent on it and handle what may throw them off.
Well, I filled out the questionnaire myself, and I'm a road warrior. I go 50, 60,000 miles a year on the road, and I'll tell you, Dr. Berg, I'll just go to Panera. Oh, not so fast. Or have a salad. Not so fast. I learned a lot in that, so I can't wait to see the results and how you can help goofballs like me that just go to that, the gas station, truck stop thing. So,
Well, you should probably not do that much hitchhiking nowadays, Steve, because I know you go across the country hitchhiking, but maybe get a car and drive.
I'll give that a shot. By the way, we've got some answers to our questions. Our audience is just on it today. Which is more addictive, smoking or processed food? And the audience suggests that 85% processed food, I'm with them, and 15% smoking. Who's the winner?
This is interesting because you would think it's smoking, right? I'm going to do a video on this. It's actually processed food. When you take a puff of smoke from a cigarette, it takes 10 seconds for it to hit your brain. But when you actually put some sweet processed sugar on your tongue, it's slightly more than a half a second, 600 milliseconds, goes right to your brain like that, bam. And because it's empty of nutrition, it's highly addictive because it's going to keep you eating that thing. And think about how many people that are on processed foods and just you tell them not to consume it, like they can't not eat it. It's just crazy. So it's very, very addicting. Um, and I'll save some additional data for this video coming up this next week on this topic, but it's very interesting.
Yeah, it's really terrible, and I keep telling myself, Steve, if you eat the donut, you're going to have a pleasure that lasts, I don't know, 1 or 2 minutes or how long. I'm exaggerating. I actually eat it in about 5 seconds. But then the only way, it's not like, well, if I eat the donut, then I'm over for good. No, it just starts that terrible cycle. And you must eat donuts, forever. And then you end up at 4 bills, and that's terrible. So there's just no way to get away with that.
Steve, it's so funny because I'm reflecting back when I graduated from college, right? And I just started living I moved to California at that time. And I remember going to Dunkin' Donuts for breakfast and having several donuts. I'm like, that was me. I would consume that. And I would feel so tired afterwards. My awareness of food was so low. I mean, it's like, I still look back and I'm like, I was like completely had the absence of information. I had no information. And it wasn't until I got sick that I started to study and learn about nutrition. So I was the worst, Steve.
Wow, well, that's great.
I'll admit it.
Well, listen, speaking of upcoming videos, here's a list for everyone to get excited about. Keto and fasting and the kidneys. There's one video, the 9 symptoms of sleep deprivation. Do you overeat when distracted? Your brain, I overeat. Well, sometimes. Your brain on processed foods. What does that look like? And then finally, why is a tomato tasteless? Those are some things that you'll be able to find on drberg.com in the coming weeks.
Yeah, and there's a couple more too, Steve. Why chronic diet soda causes you to have a fatty liver. The best exercise for spondylolisthesis, that's basically where your lower back bone is overlapping the other bone underneath it. It's like a fracture that's pushed forward. It's actually quite common. And also a video on second opinions and what you need to know about getting second opinions and third opinions and fourth opinions, and also soft drinks. Some more data on soft drinks and a fatty liver. So that's just a small little sample of what we're going to talk about this upcoming week.
Okay, wonderful. Laura Lynn has been waiting patiently, and she's from Hartford, Wisconsin. Is that right? Thank you, Wisconsin.
Hi, Laura. Lynn, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking my call. I don't know where to even start. I've been on keto a year and a half ago. I lost 50 pounds. I was doing really good until a lot of stress came into my life, and then I kind of fell off the wagon, gained the weight back. I just got home yesterday from the hospital of being in there for 6 days. And, they tried putting me on a low-carb diet, and it just wasn't working. And I know I want to get back on keto, and I don't know where to begin. I'm overwhelmed. I'm stressed. It's just like I eat the same thing over and over every day, and I'm bored, and I don't know where to go.
Well, gosh, I just put a lot of time into coming up with an improved plan just for you, and
Really?
I'll be releasing it next week. Yes, so make sure that you get on my email list. You can go to my site and just sign up, because I'll be sending out many different emails as well as daily tips through your cell phone. They're quick little tips on, basically they're not tips, they're just stories about principles of sticking to it. I think that'll be helpful in encouraging you, but also this new plan, we'll send it to you. It'll just make it so easy, because I found out that it's for some people it's quite a implementation problem, so we made it so helpful. You just follow it. And plus, I have trained keto consultants. We're going to start doing orientations. In other words, like several times a week, you can just plug in on a Zoom and listen to this presentation on a PowerPoint that I designed, and then you can ask questions. But we kind of lay out step by step, practical things. Do this, do that. So we're going to make it very easy. So give me till next week, okay?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, and I'm on all this medication. I'm on prednisone, and
Oh,
I
gosh.
I ended up with respiratory distress, hypoxia, and acute bronchitis. And
Jeez.
yeah, so I'm home now, but I'm still trying to, wean off all that medication, and and I even have your that drink that we take in the morning, the electrolytes.
Electrolyte drink, good.
Yeah,
Good.
I have that. I'm taking your vitamin C's.
Okay, good.
I don't know how many of those vitamin C's should I be taking. I'm pretty obese, and
You can
I'm just
take
right now.
You could take a bunch of them. Take them make through the day, like 5 a day. You can suck on them. That's a vitamin C will help you, and also I think my D3 will also help you because vitamin D3 it elevates your mood, it drops inflammation, it can help act like that steroid you're taking, but there's no side effects. So, and as far as the meals go, oh boy, where do you see some of the simple, less than 4 ingredient recipes that we have on the meals to keep you so interested in keto? Because if the keto meals tasted good and they were easy to make, that would make it easier. That's what we've done. We've made a lot of different varieties, so you can go this way or that way and pretty much make whatever you want. And these recipes are put together by a really high-end chef, and we put a lot of energy into it. So we're just cranking out a lot of them, so you'll have variety, and I think that will help you.
Well, I tell you what, if you've ever had the pleasure of eating at the Berg's house, no one is suffering in that kitchen. I'm telling you, the stuff is so good. Good grief, and it's all keto friendly. Thank you for that call, Laura Lynn, and maybe Laura Lynn can join the audience in answering our final question today, and that is, why do today's tomatoes lack flavor? They just taste like wallboard sometimes. So what the heck happened to tomatoes?
Yes, that is a very interesting topic. I want to talk about that more. Let's go to Vanessa from Rancho
Oh my God. Hello?
Virge.
Hello?
Hi, Vanessa.
Hello? Hello?
Must be a
No.
delay here.
Hello?
Hi, Vanessa.
Hello?
There, Vanessa,
Hi,
go
I
ahead with the doctor.
Oh, okay. Oh my God. Hi, Dr. Berg.
Hi.
Sorry, I think there's like a little bit of a delay. Can you hear me?
Perfectly.
Oh, okay. We met you at the summit. My husband was the one in the off-road wheelchair. He has ALS.
I totally remember him.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I was trying not to fan out at your summit. I just want to tell you, thank you so much. He's still doing really good. He still does use his wheelchair, but he's still doing really good, and we're still doing keto and learned a lot about nutrients and what our body is lacking thanks to you. And I've been trying to get through for so long and tell you thank you. And we were really sad no one could really go to the summit the next year because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
But I just want to tell you thank you so much. You've been really instrumental in the one in helping to really slow down his progress in what I learned from you and in changing our diet. And I just want to tell you thank you so much.
Hey, I appreciate that. My pleasure. And I really do miss this whole summit because we couldn't quite do it. But next year, not this year, the following year for sure, I'm going to be doing not going to do a virtual summit. I'm going to do an actual summit so you can come out, We can have everyone come out because that's what I really miss is meeting everyone in person and chatting. So stay tuned. We definitely will be having
Yeah, we're
a very fun
looking forward
summit.
to that.
So am
Yeah,
I.
thank you. That'll be
Absolutely.
awesome. Yeah, that was so fun. We live out here on the West Coast, and we had done a road trip across the United States, and your summit was one of our stops.
Oh,
So
wow.
that was really fun to drive across and go to your summit.
It's a highlight. I really look forward to that. And unfortunately, yeah, we couldn't do it. And the virtual thing was very I didn't get a chance to see anyone. So it's like, here we're delivering this, but I don't know who's listening. So that was not very fun for me. But yeah, definitely next year for sure, we're doing a summit. All right.
All right, how about
Okay,
another
Steve.
phone call as we tabulate the answer to
Okay,
the tomato
sure.
deal?
Let's go to Roselle from Alexandria, right down the street.
Roselle, go ahead.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Am I talking to Dr. Berg?
Yes, you're
right now?
talking to. Yes, you're talking to me. That's
Oh,
right.
hi. Hi,
Hi.
Dr. Berg. First of all, I want to say thank you so much. So I started 2 months ago, and I lost about 32 pounds. And
Wow.
I'm doing great.
That's great.
So my question is, can I mix the trace minerals with my daily vitamins? I take one a day vitamins, and when I check the information on the bottle, it says it does have trace minerals. Can I still take the
Yeah, it won't
Yeah.
hurt. The trace minerals I have are plant based, which means they're in a form that is very absorbable. And but here's the point about your one a day. The most important thing is just to take the back of this label right here.
Okay.
And let's see if I could show you right here. You take this label, okay, and you look right at the bottom part right here, and you
Okay.
read the ingredients, okay? So if you read the ingredients to any bottle of vitamins, one a day, it should tell you the source of that vitamin, okay? So this one is organic freeze-dried Osceola cherry fruit, and then organic freeze-dried strawberry fruit. So it goes through the actual material. If yours says calcium carbonate, if yours says like all these different chemical names, ferrous sulfate, all these different chemical names, then you're not getting a real vitamin. You're getting a paperweight, and you're getting a synthetic that is not going to be the same. So as long as you have like actual food-based nutrients, you'll be
Okay.
fine with that. But those one a days, you got to be careful. Even though they're popular, they're not the most highest quality thing you want to put in your body.
Yeah. So when I recently, I've been noticing that I'm losing hair a lot.
Yeah.
And I watched one of your videos saying that must take the trace minerals. Is there
Yes.
anything can help with this, with the hair?
I have a hair formula that actually works very, very well. That's specific because it doesn't just have the trace minerals. It has some really key B vitamins. It has certain key amino acids and certain proteins, as well as additional things if you have any problem with like a hormonal androgen issue that we need to deal with as well. So it's a kind of a good combination. I really like that formula for any type of hair issues. And then also I have a new one coming up that's not released yet. It's actually a topical hair formula as well, just for those people that have pretty severe hair loss and they need every piece of help they can get. So you rub it into the scalp and it stimulates hair growth. And so I'm really excited to release that one coming up probably within a month, I would say.
Well, that's terrific. I tell you what, let's get back to social media And Susan wants to figure out how to end her leg cramps. And that's from Facebook. So, Susan, stand by for the doctor's comments.
The thing that the most common thing is low magnesium. So that's one thing, and it could mean that you're not consuming enough vegetables. However, there's also calcium deficiency can cause leg cramps too. So if you did a calcium magnesium, those two alone might make those things go bye-bye.
All right, that's great. And now our final answer to our final question: why do tomatoes stink? No, lack flavor, and 100%. I don't think I've ever seen that. Suggests that nutrient depletion in today's soil just leaves them so bland. We got any winners?
Yeah. Well, let me ask you. Well, let me first tell you, Steve. Did you realize that nutrients don't have any flavors? There are no flavorings in nutrients themselves.
I had no idea.
So if you were to have like vitamin A, vitamin B, minerals and consume them, they're not very flavorful. But the flavoring chemicals, which are in tomatoes and other plants, guess what? They're made from essential nutrients, essential amino acids, essential fatty acids. They're made from certain minerals. So you guys are all correct. It is the drop in nutrients, because when you drop in nutrients, then you can't make the flavor chemicals. So flavoring, the reason why we're attracted to flavors is because it's a survival mechanism that causes us to go after the foods highest in nutrients. So the flavor chemicals are saying, hey, come get me, come eat me, because I have the most nutrients, right? In nature, that's how it should be done. And this is since the 50s, like people wanted tomatoes overnight. They wanted it all year round. And so they had to grow them resistant to pesticides, grow them to have higher shelf life. Well, as soon as you do that, it shuts off these flavor chemicals and it just tastes like wax. So we replaced nutrition and flavor from something that looks really, really cool on the shelf, but is empty. So Steve,
I think
we need to start growing our food.
Okay, well, I think you've contradicted yourself, and I caught you. You say that those things don't have flavor. How come your vitamin C tastes so good? I crunch right through that, and I love it, and I think it tastes great. What's up with that?
Because when you have foods high in nutrients, they come with flavors. Okay, so in other words, there's a connection there because the flavor chemicals are high in nutrients, and so if you were to consume Doritos, not that you would ever do that, Steve, but let's just pretend you did, and you had like 3 chips, could you stop?
I bet you can't eat just one. Remember, that was an actual advertising on Lay's potato chip. Bet you can't eat just one, and they were absolutely right. So the answer is no. If I've already broken the keto thing, I have this terrible attitude. Well, you're already screwed, so you might as well just go for it. And it's just, so no, I couldn't eat just 3 Doritos. Never happened.
I mean, if you just think back, Steve, if you're eating this Dorito, like I have done for many years, so you take it, it's like, man, that's good, right? But then it's like I need another one because it's like it went away. Oh man, that's good. There's no nutrients in there, so it's like the flavor is just attracting you to that thing so strongly because it's so rich in these flavors that are artificial, and but there's no turnoff. There's no feedback loop to your brain saying stop eating, and so after the bag is completely consumed, you're like, what did I just do? This is amazing. So with the keto treats and the keto recipes that we have, they're higher in nutrients. So it's going to be hard to overeat any of those foods if there's nutrients in them. And so that way they're not empty and you don't have to overdo it. So you can start looking at these recipes. You even go to my site right now, check out the recipes. There's a bunch of them that we're releasing every single week. And as well as on my YouTube channel, I just released a bunch of them too. But it's under the cooking channel. So if you go to my YouTube channel, it says channels, and you can click different languages, and then there's one on cooking and recipes. and meals. You can check that out.
Boy, that's great. And I tell you what everyone suspects and loves about Dr. Berg is he really does care about people. And an example of that is he said, Steve, there's no way we're going to ever leave any callers hanging. I don't care how many there are. We're going to take every call and not cut them off. And evidence of that is our final caller, who is Juan from Riverside, California. We didn't leave him hanging.
Hey, Juan.
Oh, thank
How are
you guys.
You
I
had a
appreciate
question.
you guys. Thank you, Dr. Berg, for everything you do, man. You've been a great help, to be honest with you.
There's a delay, I think. Are you there, Juan?
Sorry, Juan. Go ahead with the doctor.
Hello, Dr. Berg. Good morning. Good afternoon. How are you?
Hi, great. Thanks.
Hey, thank you for everything. I appreciate your channel, everything you say and do. I had a question, man. I'm trying to lose my gut, like everyone else. I've been on the keto diet. I take a walk every now and then, but I can't seem to shrink my stomach for some reason. I'm trying to eat smaller meals more frequently. I was wondering if there's anything that you may suggest that may help, maybe vitamins or, exercise or different foods or my eating patterns.
I know exactly what you need to do, Juan. So I hope you're sitting down. And what I'm going to say is going to be the most important thing that you need to learn right now. The small, frequent meals is going to get you in trouble because every time you eat even a small meal, you're triggering this fat-making hormone called insulin, right? So what you have to do is you have to go to my site under blog, because my other plan is not ready until next week. Go under blog and it says start here. Press that video, watch number 1, number 2 videos, and just go through them. When you're done talking to me, you want to do a good meal with fat, low carb, and then you're not going to be hungry for a while. So you want to go as long as possible, and you do not want to eat unless you're hungry, and you want to start to push your meals longer and longer, so you're doing what's called intermittent fasting. Then what's going to happen, your insulin's going to go down. Your hunger's going to go down. Your cravings will go away, and to the point where you're doing 2 meals a day, like probably at 1 o'clock and then 6 o'clock. And all of a sudden, you're going to be going, what? My stomach is shrinking. What's going on with that? Because you're cutting down that fat-making hormone insulin. So I promise you that will work. And then next week, get my like free download that I'm going to give everyone, so I can then walk you through the whole plan, the new plan, because you can be very successful.
Okay,
great.
I will do that. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
And by the way, record number of viewers on across the world from social media and every other aspect. So we really, really thank you all for your attention and joining us today and making the show popular. It's just fantastic. And I think that's a wrap, Doc.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a good one. See you guys next week.